It was a cold Friday night out on Route 14. The wind was biting at my face as I wandered aimlessly with Liam. We were out here for something, but I just can't quite remember. My warm Pokeball shaking ever so slightly from time to time. I could tell something was bothering them. I heard the familiar sound of a Pokemon coming out of its Pokeball. Shogun cried, and I heard a laugh. I shouted at Liam. "What are you laughing at?" Liam shouted back. "What are you talking about, bro? You laughed, didn't you?" Liam gave me a puzzling look. I didn't laugh. Shogun cried out, and he looked at me painfully. We continued deep into Route 14. Eventually, we reached what looked like an old campsite, so we began to look for anything that we could use to start up a fire. "Hey, Augustine, I found something over here." I turned around and walked back to Liam with Shogun by my side. "What is it?" I asked. "I think it's a diary," Liam said in a lower tone than usual. I snatched it from his hands and looked at the front of the diary. It was corroded, like it had been there for a couple of years. But I decided not to read it until we had a fire going. "Liam, where did you find this?" I asked quietly, and it felt like we were being watched. "I found it on that log over there," he responded quickly. There was a laugh. "You heard that, right?" Liam, cool as ever, brushed it off. "It was probably just the wind." I responded, "You're probably right." But I knew that wasn't any wind. Liam's Machoke found some firewood to burn. Liam ordered Machoke to put the wood in the center of the circle of rocks. I then ordered my Shogun to use ember. Now, in the dimly lit camp, I felt something I usually did not feel. It was fear. "All right, Augustine, open the diary," Liam whispered. I looked at him with a nervous look on my face, then opened the diary and began to read. "Dear Diary, June 12th. Today was another investigation day. We found one new Pokemon. We named it Pumpkaboo. It resembles a pinkish pumpkin. The pumpkin body has a pair of circular holes carved out of its rim that resembles eyes. The ghostly body that lives in the pumpkin is black with a pointy collar, yellowish eyes with no visible pupils, a pair of fangs, curved ears, and a curled stem. Pumpkaboo can release light from the holes on its body, making it similar to a flashlight. We couldn't seem to find any other Pumpkaboos after hours of searching, though." "What's this investigation?" Liam quietly asked. I wondered myself. Then I realized it was probably for the Kalos Pokedex, or any Pokedex. "My guess is it's for the Pokedex," I whispered back. Before Liam had any time to make a response, our ears were filled with the sound of laughter. I was freaking out, and I was pretty sure Liam was as well, yet he had a good way of hiding it. "Augustine, continue reading," Liam ordered. Dear Diary, June 15th. We finally managed to evolve Pumpkaboo by training it between us. It evolved into a bipedal pumpkin Pokemon. Its body is a black pumpkin with two short, stubby feet. There is a face carved into this pumpkin, having triangular eyes and a half-circle mouth, completing with a spike protruding from the top of the mouth. Above this pumpkin is the head, which is tall, slender, and orange in color. At the top of the head is the face, which has yellow eyes and a small mouth with no nose present. The mouth has two sharp fangs, with an absence of other visible teeth. It is completed with its peach-colored hair, which down the sides developed limbs. The hair contains bangs which usually cover one eye. The top of its hair contains a crescent shape, which is peach-colored on the outside and black on the inside. Dear Diary, June 17th. We have been experimenting with Gourgeist. It became very friendly with one of our workers. He told us that he would take it back with him when he would go back to town. Gourgeist laughed a lot. It sounded very similar to child laughter. Eventually, Gourgeist became close enough to and hugged its trainer. What happens afterwards is unbearable. He slowly started to melt. First, his eyes rolled out of its sockets, and his teeth fell out as blood spilled everywhere. The weirdest part was that Gourgeist was laughing while doing this. Gourgeist looked up from its deceased trainer and smirked at us while laughing as if it had cursed us. If you're reading this, get out of this forest or you will be I slowly looked up at Liam, who was scared out of his mind at this point. We have to get out of here, he whispered shakily. Liam's face went pale, as if he saw something. Our Pokemon froze. Liam, what's wrong? I asked quietly. There's a Gourgeist right behind you, Liam said, shaking. I heard the eerie sound of child's laughter. Run, I yelled. We ran for what seemed like hours. Our Pokemon followed behind. After a while, we decided to take a break and hid behind a thicket of trees. I think we lost him, I said while out of breath. A familiar chuckling came from about 10 yards away, and we began to run again. We started to run north away from the Gourgeist. Whoosh! We fell into a giant chasm. Are you okay, Augustine? Liam whispered. I'm fine. You? I said. I'm fine, just a few bruises. We stood up and began to walk deeper into this what seemed to be cave. The walls of the cave had a weird crimson color that didn't look natural. There were corpses of Pokemon and people all over the crimson floor, organs and bones sticking out of the rotting flesh. Pools of dried blood lay underneath the corpses. We eventually made it to a weird round room that was about 100 feet in diameter. I ordered my Shelgon to use embers so we could actually see what was in here. I should have figured what I was going to see. The corpses looked exactly like the diary described them. Gourgeist appeared at the other side of the room. Liam, we can't run. We have to fight, I whispered. Right, Liam responded. I sent out my Venusaur and Liam with his Sylveon. It was a 4 versus 1. We were going to defeat this thing, or so I thought. Gourgeist smirked and used a leech sheet on my Shelgon. Stay strong, Shelgon. Use Ember, I yelled. But before Shelgon could, he was long gone. I looked at my Shelgon. It was slowly dying as Gourgeist sucked the life out of it. We heard bones snapping as it became flatter. Its mouth was oozing blood as tears formed in its eyes. At this point, I knew my precious Shelgon was gone. I began to get angry, very angry. I ordered Venusaur to use Solar Beam, which I knew wouldn't be effective since it was a grass type, but I didn't care. Gourgeist let out a blood-curdling scream and dodged the attack. Then slowly but surely destroyed all of our Pokemon with either a Leech Seed or Will-O-Wisp. The only Pokemon we had left was Liam's Machoke. Machoke! Use Brick Break! Liam yelled. Then he realized, oh no! Oh no! Liam screamed. Machoke, get out of there! He screamed. He began to bawl, as did I. Machoke was too close to Gourgeist to get away. Gourgeist gave Machoke a big hug as the process began. Its eyes started to bleed, and eventually they popped out. His mouth was full of blood, and his teeth were falling out. And like the diary said, Gourgeist laughed while Machoke suffered. Liam turned to me with tears in his eyes and spoke, Get out of here while you still can. I can hold it off. Liam, I can't just leave you here to die, I responded as I began to bawl. Just go, he yelled. Those were the last words I heard from Liam. I ran through the bloody organ cave, tears flowing freely from my cheeks as I heard Liam's screams and Gourgeist's laughter. I didn't stop running until I reached the hole we had entered. Okay, Augustine, you have to make it to the nearest town. It's just north of here, I said to myself. I climbed out of the blood cave and ran north as fast as I ever had. A few minutes later, I could see the town. Then I heard Gourgeist's laughter. I ran faster and faster. I heard it. It was gaining. I could see Gourgeist's arms in my peripheral vision. He was about to wrap them around me, but it was too late. I had made it to Lavair City. I walked into the Pokemon Center as I bawled my eyes out. A girl walked up to me and tried to calm me down. What's wrong? She asked calmly. It was Gourgeist, I sputtered. What's a Gourgeist? She asked. I then explained to her what a Gourgeist was and what it did. I don't know what what you're talking about. I've been out there on Route 14 thousands of times, and I've never seen the blood cave thing. You must be tired. Have a rest. She attempted to put her arm over my shoulder, but I pushed her away and screamed, "Get your hands off me! How could you not believe me? Liam died for me, and now everybody is thinking I'm mental." I laid crouched on my knees, and I silently cried as I tried to erase Liam and the horrors from my mind. I will not take this death in vain. Years later, I, Professor Augustine Sycamore, became the Pokemon professor for the Kalos region. I finished the experiment that the team from the diary had started and wrote Pokedex entries for all of the Kalos Pokemon. I met hundreds of trainers and started them on their journeys. I also met hundreds of Pokemon and raised them as my own. I thought I could enjoy this part of my life, but it wasn't possible after what happened on Route 14. Depression hit me hard. I tried my best not to show it, but every once in a while it would slip out. Over the years, I would get sadder and sadder. I just couldn't stand it anymore. Felt like I just had to go back to Route 14. I didn't know why, but I just felt like I did. Tonight was the night I was gonna go back. The closer I got to the cave, a feeling of dread developed in my stomach. I walked glumly down the path for around an hour until I had made it. I walked off the path into the woods of Route 14, and then I saw it, the old campsite from all those years ago. Memories flooded my mind. Something was just throwing them away and telling me to keep moving. I was eventually at the blood cave. Climbed down and walked deep into the cave. Gourgeist was waiting for me. I saw the rotting corpse of Liam in my choke. I walked over to Gourgeist. It stared at me. I just want a hug. Hey guys, it's the Creepypasta 696 here. And well, this is our first video. So yes, I said our. I will be joined by 2 other acquaintances. They will either be helping me write, research, or they will be doing what I'm doing right now. So anyway, their names are Phoenix and Lobby. So yeah, they're just there. Anyway, so if you haven't noticed, this is going to be a creepypasta channel, and probably gonna upload 3 times a week, maybe. If this gets enough support. So anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say. And actually, also, me and Lobby wrote the story today. So yeah, woohoo. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next creepypasta. I probably won't be commentating, but yeah. Bye.